Well, good morning, everyone. Am I audible to everyone? Okay. So we are actually about to start this session. Our keynote speaker is here. Um, in next 10 minutes, we are going to start the keynote speech. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Before starting, I would like to request everyone to please mute your mic, and we welcome you all to the virtual multidisciplinary conference on current research trends, IMMCRT 2020. This is day 2. We had a fantastic session on day 1. Let me tell you about IMMCRT. RT 2020 is a virtual conference which will be reaching the audience all over the world. In these testing times, the International Institute of Knowledge and Research, CSR First Research Consultant, and IT partner Warshall Technology Private Limited decided to make the best use of digital world to reach researchers all over the world, crossing all barriers. The participants of this conference will get a chance to interact with researchers across the world with the minimum cost and latest technology. This year, we had more than 500 abstract submissions and total of 150 plus researchers who will be presenting their researches and has already presented across the 3 different modes. That is pre-recorded video, one-to-one Skype chat, and group presentation. We have total 5 keynote speakers who will be delivering their keynote presentation. Yesterday we had 2 keynote speeches. Today we will have having 3 keynote speeches, and we will have the group presentation after the keynote speeches. So without wasting much time, let's welcome our first keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Hishan S. Sanderson. Let me tell you something about Dr. Hishan Sanderson. Dr. Hishan S. Sanil, he has a PhD in management, MBA in marketing, and DE in industrial engineering. He is the managing editor of Singaporean Journal of Social Sciences and Journal of Economic Info. He is one of the section editor of the Journal of Innovation and Entrepreneurship Research and the editorial members in the International Journal of Management. He is one of the reviewers for the Humanities and Social Science Reviews, which is indexed by Spoken Elsewhere Q1 Index. He has more than 50 publications in various reputed international journals, which are indexed in well-known databases like Web of Science and Scopus. Prior to joining the academic field, he worked for more than 10 years in the field of industrial engineering, engineering, marketing, and social and security compliance in the manufacturing industry. He has a vast amount of experience in handling re-engineering projects in 4 different countries, which includes India, Bangladesh, Malaysia, and Kingdom of Bahrain. He has been the organizing chair and part of the editorial team in various international conferences organized in Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia. So I would like to request Dr. Hishan Sanil sir to please go ahead and share some words of wisdom with us. Thank you so much. Dr. Hishan Sanil sir, am I audible to you?
Yeah, yeah. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayur, for such a detailed introduction and for the opportunity. So I think Mayur, somebody's YouTube also is on. It's echoing.
Okay.
Once again, I think there is some. So it's a bit echoing. The YouTube is echoing, so I'm not clear. It's mine itself, I think.
Yes. Okay.
Can you all hear me clearly, or it's you can hear some YouTube voice as well? I just want a feedback.
No, it's completely fine, sir.
It's fine.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for the delay and the trouble. Good morning, everybody, and whichever part of the world we are, maybe good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So, my area of research. My area of research is corporate social corporate social responsibility. So can you hear me now? Okay. My area of research is corporate social responsibility. So today I thought like, let me just give some keynote related topic related to my research and COVID-19, which is one of the uh, latest topics of research and latest discussion worldwide right now. So my name is Dr. Ishan. I'm senior lecturer in Azman Hashim International Business School in University Technology, Malaysia. So before I start and go to the topic, I think most of the people know about corporate social responsibility, but still I would like to just brief you all about what is corporate responsibility, social responsibility, and how it is related to the economic development. If you see corporate social responsibility, it is related to economic development because if we have a thriving society and a thriving environment, which is the main crux of corporate social responsibility, that contributes to a thriving business. And once the business is there is a thriving business, it automatically contributes to the country's economic development. So globally, corporate social responsibility especially plays a key role. However, the word corporate social responsibility might have evolved now, and it might have changed. So lately, they might call it as triple bottom line or sustainability, all incorporated. Corporate social responsibility also has become a part of sustainability. So all those things are there, but still, the corporate social responsibility is playing a key role. So basically, what is corporate social responsibility? If you go by the definition given by the uh, World Business Council for Sustainable Development, you can see that a commitment of a business to contribute to sustainable economic development by working with employees, their families, local communities, and societies at large to improve the quality of life. So if you see now, globalization has given a new dimension to corporate social responsibility, and sustainability also is a key part now. So globally, these three things are now a bit interrelated, and it forms a basis for all the maybe whatever research, whatever companies are doing, because this is now embedded within the uh, organization. It's not something which is like extra to any organization. So if you go further, if you go by, like, I would like just like to give a brief about how this corporate social responsibility started in the literature. If you see this concept, although in India and many parts of the world, many of these things were already present, but officially the word corporate social responsibility was coined by Bowen in 1953. So he introduced the concept of corporate social responsibility. Then there was a lot of discussion on this corporate social responsibility. So one is Milton Friedman had a school of thought where he's told that only responsibility of business is profit maximization, and not of and they are not their responsibility to the other things. It's like they have to just give the maximum profit for the shareholders. Whereas Edward Freeman, he introduced the concept of stakeholder concept, where he says that managers should take care of the stakeholders, and they should see all the needs of the stakeholders. And the word evolved, and totally as and when the concept began. So latest now in 2019, so many researchers came in, and CSR now has become an important strategic issue, important field of research, which will help to handle some more important societal issues. Later, I will just share a brief like how this is also contributing to the solving some issues related to COVID-19. And finally, this is now new challenge for every organization to encompass the CSR in their core business values or core strategy. So this is how the corporate has evolved in the literature. However, now if you see most of, for especially like if the people who are there in Malaysia, because my study was based in Malaysia and I've done some studies in India as well. So in Malaysia, most this one commonly, the corporate social responsibility can be like broadly classified or dimensions of workplace, community, marketplace, and environment. So a workplace is workplace is more of internal, where it will be the like activities done by the company, within the company, how they take care of the employees and all those things. So this has become a vital thing now in COVID-19 times. And community is in general, how it is in general contributing to the community in which it is there, the business. It might be international or local. And marketplace, it is more related to the product, where how their product which is in the market influencing the people around, and how ethical it is. And finally, environment, as everybody knows, environment is more related to the natural environment. How like now the recent words with the environment is carbon footprints, or all single use plastic, or all these things which protects the environment. So CSR is broadly classified into this. However, the concept is also now changed, as triple bottom line, where you take care of these three vital things, that is the people, planet, and profit. So in a way, what I explained in the previous slide, the workplace and this one is almost encompassed in this one. So you can see, the if you see people means societal variable dealing with communities, education, equity, social resources, health, well-being, and quality of life. Now, planet is more related to environment variables, to natural resources, water, air quality, energy conservation, and land use. And finally, there's the profit part, where it's more internal to the organization, the economic variables, and overall how the money is flowing and how it is. So if an organization encompasses all the three things, then it can achieve sustainability, which is very vital. You can hear talks about sustainability everywhere right now. So this was about a brief about corporate social responsibility, but uh, let's come to the main discussion in today's time, that is what is it about COVID-19. So everybody knows what is COVID-19 now. Globally, it doesn't need an introduction at this stage now. So as of what I refer to the WHO website, as of 19 September, there are like so many cases, confirmed cases, and so many deaths now. And this was reported to WHO for globally from all the countries. And some countries like India, US, they are very badly affected. So there are so many cases coming, and the economy is in trouble. So where does corporate social responsibility pitch in such situation? So effect of COVID-19 on CSR. So coronavirus, I was just going through one literature, the latest literature. So they say that how it is affected. Now they have identified three main things. This is more to the marketing perspective, where one is CSR is a great opportunity now. Presently, this during COVID-19, the companies have great opportunity to contribute to the society, wherein they can contribute in so many different ways. It's not restricted to one area. They can do it in different areas. For example, even some of the countries have made certain changes in the laws, and so certain things, like for example, I think the Indian government recently, they have included the PM Care Fund for the COVID. If a company contributes to that, it is also called includes in the CSR efforts of the companies. And certain policy changes have been made, where to incorporate this COVID-19 contributions of the company for their as considered as CSR. So people are can actively engage in this. Now, today's my main topic will be on the debate whether this corporate social responsibility is a boon or a bane. So uh, basic crux of it is whether corporate social responsibility is something positive or something negative, especially in terms of COVID-19. So if you see in the organization perspective, it depends on the way they look at it. Some organization may think like we don't make money, so how do we do CSR? But some organization who have already embedded their CSR as their corporate strategy, they might see as a great opportunity now to actively engage in this, to show that they can contribute to the society and really make a difference in the society. Similarly, the consumer perception is changed right now. It's not like before. Now there's a new ethical dimension, and say like that is becoming more important. Now people see how the product is made, how the company operates, how they are taking care of the employees, all those things. So this change in the consumer's decision will also affect into the way they consume the product. So CSR might play a vital role in this case. And another change, a fundamental change, now totally everything is changed. For example, wearing a mask and the social distancing has become a new normal. So it's a way of life now. The beliefs is changed and everything. So that might even change the marketing strategies, and that might reflect. Now we don't know whether this will be a long term or a short term, but as of what I read from the literature, and if you see the um, things here, it feels like there's going to be a big change even in the way the marketing is going to be done. So that is in the marketing perspective. Now, if you see uh, what lessons the company has learned, the main thing now is like, see, other than these marketing employees, it's become like it's very obvious for the employees, because there's so many changes that you can see everywhere what changes are going on, what changes are happening these days. So you don't need to see the employees, the way they work, and the way they are compensation, salaries, everything is changed. So it is a big impact. So likewise, the workplace dimension of CSR is also changed. The way the company approach their employees, the way the company take care of the employees. However, based on certain reading and this one, there are like three important lessons about CSR that companies have learned in COVID time. First thing is, just compliance with the rules and regulation is not CSR. Now, no more CSR. No more CSR. So you don't have to think that CSR is just if you comply with the rules and regulation, give the salaries on time, and you're ethical in business, that is CSR. No, that is something which is mandatory. But CSR is something more now, where you go out of the way to contribute to the society. So how you're taking care of your employees, as I told you, the triple bottom line concept. So it now the companies have realized. Now the companies who didn't focus on CSR, now they might be in deep trouble, because the employees may not be so in the same page, or there may be so many issues which they need to face. Finally, a second thing is flexibility at work for employees is not just a CSR branding activity. Earlier, there would be certain companies claiming we give work from home, we give flexibility for employees, and that days to brand it as a CSR, where the company is having good policies towards the employees. So that is like a workplace CSR. But no more that is like a branding activity of CSR. Now employees flexibility has become a main part of the company, because you can see work from homes, remote working, all these things is happening, the changes is happening. So this thing has given focus on CSR, and it has shown that the way you take care of employees and way you make employees responsible is the way the organization can go ahead based on that. And now CSR is not a necessity, and not is now a necessity and not a luxury, because earlier CSR means it should the organization is to think that they are doing a favor. It's like something like, if you want you can do it. If for some countries, although they have made mandatory, even in India, I think as per the company's law, the 2013 changes in the law, although they have given some guidelines to the CSR spending and the CSR cap, and made mandatory if you are reaching certain profits and all those things. But still, there is a loophole where if they are not able to do CSR, they can just release why they have not done. And in some countries, although it is CSR is there, it's not made mandatory. So there is an argument that CSR is something which company does it on its own interest and it should not be made mandatory. So it all depends on how you look at it. So, but right now in the COVID-19 time, CSR has become a necessity and not a luxury, because especially the main focus is the workplace CSR. It has become like a main thing for any organization, because the organization is going through a lot, and the way they handle their employees is become crucial. And finally, like before I conclude, the debate whether it's a boon or a bane, this is continuing, because first of all, there is a big question mark on the seriousness of how the companies are doing their CSR. Some like maybe like a window dressing where they will just show it that they are doing CSR, but actually they are doing some tax. They are doing it for some tax waivers and all those things. So it all depends the way the company is doing this. This debate will always continue, because maybe certain organization who are not willing to take CSR seriously, and they believe that taking care of the society and employees and all is especially the society and community is government's responsibility, and their responsibility is only profit giving to the shareholders and taking care of their employees, may not think CSR is a big is really a good thing at this time. But there are if you see the statistics, and if you see the organizations which are doing in CSR, there are a lot of organizations which are gaining from doing good CSR. So this debate will continue, but as of now, with what literature and the studies done, you can see that CSR is the focus, and it has become a very important thing in times of COVID. So stay healthy and stay safe, and thank you all. But before I just end, I just want to share with you all one statistics which I just found it in this. I would like to share this before I end, if I can do that. Okay, I'll just show you a statistics which might be helpful. So I hope you all are seeing this screen, where you can see a survey done by I think this is from McKinsey and Company. You see, in this is a survey done in China, and all the survey what they did, about 80%, 70 to 80% of the employees have agreed that they are getting involved in some sort of CSR, and they have given the different level of management, like senior management. And this gray and blue, it shows that some people like individually they are doing it, some are participating with the company, and some are deeply participating with the organizing by the company. Similarly, there is another study in Poland. Even that shows that this is the same different areas where companies are getting involved in CSR, like support of local businesses, support of healthcare workers. And see, you can see how the local business support is increased and how the healthcare workers are increased. So, however, there are many people who have not done any CSR, but you can see an increasing trend. So you can see the pattern of CSR is changing. So in a way, this COVID-19 has impacted in a big way to this um, presently. That is what I'd like to share. So that's it from me. So back to Mr. Mayu.
Well, thank you so much, sir. We are privileged that we got this opportunity to learn something about corporate social responsibility. And we believe that corporate social responsibility is pretty much important in this COVID pandemic situation. Now, I would like to say thanks to the Professor Dr. S Sanderson, and I would like to welcome our second keynote speaker, Dr. Ahmad A. Elangar, sir. Just wanted to share some brief description about him. Dr. Ahmad Elangar, he is Assistant Professor of Computer Science, Ministry University, Faculty of Computer and Artificial Intelligence, Egypt. He is a founder and head of Scientific Innovation Research Group, SIRG, Director of Technological and Informatics Studies Center, Director of the University Board, Deputy Director of the International Ranking Office, UNICEF University, Managing Editor of Journal of Cybersecurity and Information Management, a member of Egyptian Mathematical Society, member of International Rough Set Society. Dr. Elangar works in many research areas also, which includes Internet of Things, network security, intrusion detection, machine learning, data mining, artificial. Dr. Elangar is an editor and reviewer of many international journals around the world. Dr. Elangar have a great many activities in community and the environment service, including organizing 250 plus international conferences and workshops, hosted by a large number of universities in almost all government of Egypt all around the world. And it's an immense pleasure for us that Dr. Ahmad Elangar sir is with us all the way from Egypt. I know that it's too early in Egypt, but he has joined us. So I would request Dr. Ahmad Elangar sir to please take it. Sir, your voice is not audible. I think it's mute. The mic is mute, I think, sir.
Okay, now it's okay?
Yeah, it's okay, sir.
Yeah. So thank you so much, my dear friend, for this introducing me. As you know, this is here in Egypt. It's too early here, but it's okay. It's my pleasure to be with you and all my great professors and the participants. It's really my pleasure. And let me first share my presentation. Uh, I can't share my presentation, so give me this. I can't share. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Now it's okay.
I request all the rest members to please mute their mic. Can you share the screen right now, sir?
Yes. Now it's okay.
काय बैठो नीचे बैठो कुठले कुठे म्हणताय अच्छा अच्छा I can go there ना
Miss
शनी
Riddhi, ma'am.
महाराज रोड
Miss Riddhi, ma'am.
जवळ आहे ना
Please mute your audio.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yes, please showing that is started screen sharing. It is yet to record.
Okay.
Yes, now it is cancelled.
Okay. Cool. I think now it's okay.
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay. Let me check. Okay. Now it's okay, I think. Okay, so now, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everywhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be with all of you now. So, first of all, I'd like to thank my dear friend, Professor William, to invite me to be as a part of the International Multidisciplinary Conference on Current Research Trend IMCCRT 2020. Second of all, I'd like to ask all of you to take care of yourself and be safe from COVID-19 during this pandemic period of time, and we need to pray to ask Allah to remove this virus from all around the world. Uh, Thirdly, I would like to introduce myself, but my friend, really introduced me very well. So thanks to him so much. And so now let me start my presentation. So I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about the Internet of Intelligent Things (IoIT) and new roadmap. Uh, this is my bio, but now we need to skip it. So now uh, I'd like to uh, start my presentation. So my presentation is divided into two parts. So the first part is I want to introduce my university, Bani Suef University. Second part, I will give some background about my talk under the title Internet of Intelligent Things, IoIT, a new roadmap. Then I will give some introduction about the IoT vision and architecture. Then I will give the how to provide providing value to IoT with artificial intelligence and machine learning. Then I will give some benefits of using IoT and artificial intelligence together. After that, I will give some examples for AI with IoT. Then I will give some challenges faced by AI in IoT. Then I will conclude my presentation. Now let me start my presentation for the first part to introduce my university, Bani Suef University. So this is the buildings in my university. I also invite all of you to visit my university. Uh, Let me talk about where we are, the localization of Bani Suef University. So as you can see here, this is a map, and you can, when you come to Egypt here, so you can visit the city of my university is Bani Suef city. It's in my heart. After you come to the Bani Suef city, you will, how can I go to the Bani Suef University? So when you come to Bani Suef University, you will, uh, I will be there, and I will say hello, and you will find your smile when you come to Bani Suef University. So I need to welcome all of you to visit my university. Let me give some introduction about my Bani Suef University. As you know, Cairo University established its branch in Bani Suef City in 1981. Bani Suef City University was established as a standalone based on a presidential decree in 2005, and they resigned from the prestige of the Cairo University. The president of Bani Suef University is Dr. Mansour Hassan. He is president of Bani Suef University from Faculty of Medicine, Bani Suef University, Egypt. My university includes more than 33 faculties. So like Faculty of Computers and Artificial Intelligence, this is my faculty. Faculty of Commerce, Faculty of Law, Arts, Science, Education, Medicine, Nursing, Engineering, Physical Education, and so on. Uh, Let me give you some studies, some information about the Bani Suef University. So Bani Suef University includes about 62,000 undergraduate and postgraduate students who are enrolled into 75 undergraduate program and 336 postgraduate program in 87 diploma, 118 master, and 131 PhD programs. In addition, Bani Suef University has a valuable and promising component in terms of the material, resources, of structures, buildings, land, which amount to total acre area of almost 636 acres. If you want to know more about my university, Bani Suef University, you can visit this website, or you can contact with me. I will give you more about my university. Now, let me talk about the move to the second part of my presentation to talk about the Internet of Intelligent Things, IoT, and new roadmap. So first of all, I would like to give some background about my presentation. So as you know, artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things are both unique technologies on their own. But the important question is, what makes them even more interesting? So it's simply when they are intersecting, there is a clear intersection between the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. So IoT is about connecting machines and making use of the data generated from those machines. So artificial intelligence is about simulating intelligent behavior in machines of all kinds like a human. But what comes in your mind when you think of term of IoT? So probably a bunch of devices that can understand each other through the connectivity, as you can see in this figure. So IoT allows us to connect independent devices together and make almost of them by allowing them to exchange data and interact. So you can imagine the power of data collected through all these devices. So to help realize this vision, artificial intelligence comes into the picture, as you can see in this figure. So AI has created a wide range of applications in many domains, including healthcare, finance, education, and smart home, and so on. This combining AI with the IoT brings the promising of a new future, as both technologies communicate and revolve around a common measure of data. So data combined from connected devices can be increased further with the help of AI, and the smarter insights can be obtained from it. But we need to know more about vision and architecture. So you have a time now to work upon these technologies because we don't have a standard vision or a standard structures, architectures. So, as you know, IoT is becoming one of the hottest research topic nowadays. So IoT application will affect many aspects of people's lives, bringing about many convenience. So there are three main visions of IoT based on things, internet, and semantic perspectives. So as you can see in this figure, when we talk about the things vision, this vision provides a perspective that all real physical objects have the many sensors attached together to get real-time information from them. This vision provides a base of integration of all things to collaborate together. But when we talk about the internet vision, this vision provides the perspective that all devices can be connected through the internet and can be described as a smart object. So as you know, there is a difference between smart and Internet of Things devices, or a smart object and the internet object. This very important difference between them. But this vision can also accomplished by using unique IP and each connected object. But when we talk about the semantic vision, this vision provides the perspective that all data collected from curious sensors need to be analyzed for meaningful interpretation. This vision provides a base for the semantic integration through the use of the semantic middleware. Let me talk about the architecture. As I said before, you have time now to work upon these technologies because we don't have standard. We don't have a standard architecture. So some researchers work. It's depend on the field you use these technologies. So some researchers use the three layers. Some of them also using the 4 layer and also using 5 layers. But when you talk about the minimum layers, is divided into 3 layers. So when you're implementing IoT requires an open architecture based on several layers. IoT architecture can be primarily divided into three layers. Perceptual layers such as RFID, GPS, and so on. There is more sensors you can use in this layer. Network layer such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and more protocols you can use it in this layer. And the upper layer is application layer, so you can use such as CoAP, MQTT. This is the protocol used in this layer, because it's different between using a CoAP like HTTP and HTTPS, because we use this as small and tiny devices. So we need to use a lightweight protocols to connect these devices together. So you have time to work upon these technologies. But what's providing value to IoT with artificial intelligence and machine learning? So when we talk about the providing value to IoT with the machine learning, as we know, artificial intelligence come in handy with another technology under umbrella and under its umbrella. This technology called machine learning or ML. Often used interchangeably, the term of AI and machine learning work on the principle of developing software program that processes intelligence. Moreover, this intelligence allows them to analyze data and make decisions similar to how a human brain does the same. Since the essence of IoT devices is to gather data and make use of it, placing data obtained from the physical device through the machine learning and artificial intelligence allow us to expand upon these processes. Thus, the Internet of Intelligent Things, IoIT, uses artificial intelligence to bring more value to the IoT domain by better interpreting data obtained from connected device. But how? The devices connected to IoT network are linked via sensors and actuator wrapped with the software and hardware to providing a human with the logical input. And besides, the foundation of IoT is a machine learning and artificial intelligence, because it allows the devices to make sense of the data collected through them. When a set of connected devices collect raw data and combine it, the software program enabled with the machine intelligence capabilities take this data and analyze them. Moreover, after through the analysis and output obtained contains valuable information. So now we need to know more about the benefits of using IoT and artificial intelligence together. So the Internet of Intelligent Things, IoIT, makes IoT application realize their full potential. Therefore, artificial intelligence and machine learning bring more detailed data insights to the table at faster pace. In addition, enterprises are looking forward to make use of IoIT to reap the following benefits. So when we talk about the first benefit come from using artificial intelligence with Internet of Things is improving accuracy rate. Let me say first, if you have ever tried to analyze data from multiple sheets on your computer, you must have realized that it is a tedious job. As you know, human brain are limited to perform certain tasks at a certain rate, and when the mind are exhausted, we are even more prone to make errors. Therefore, Internet of Intelligent Things, IoIT, has the power to break down the large quantities of data coming and going through devices. So the best part about is that since the whole process is machine and software driven, it can be performed without any human intervention, which makes it error-free and improving accuracy rate. For example, online payments and e-commerce transactions are prone to high risks to tricky activities with the combined power of human understanding and IoT machine learning and the techniques of artificial intelligence, potential frauds can be taken into account in advance, thus preventing any loss of money. The second benefits come of using artificial intelligence with IoT is predictive analysis and maintenance. What about predictive analysis? It refers to a branch of analysis that looks at existing data and based on the outcomes, it predicts possible future events. It would not be exaggerated to say that IoT and the artificial intelligence are foundation of predictive maintenance. Currently, IoT devices are being used by enterprises to report any mishaps or concerns like equipment failure, etc., in an automated manner without human intervention. However, by adding artificial intelligence, this method will allow machine to perform a predictive analysis, which means that enterprises will be able to detect possible mishaps and failure in advance and work on their maintenance. So due to this, the chance of losses are decreased highly, and conditions are being detected even before failure. Very important. Also, this will add up a huge benefits in saving cost of big corporations and helping them to avoid setbacks in their business. For example, easy shipping companies can use predictive analysis to check and analyze their data timely to avoid any sudden downtown of ship and keep maintaining their ships through regular servicing from time to time. The third benefits come when you're using IoT with AI is improving customer satisfaction. The core of every business is customer satisfaction. Therefore, companies like Amazon have earned the badge of of being the most customer centric company by keeping the priorities of their customers before everything else. All of us know that. However, human-based customer experience falls at certain times due to several factors such as time constraints, etc. Companies are recognizing the power of AI by enabling chatbots for interacting with customer. Huge amounts of customer data can be used to providing them with a more personalized experience as per their choices and solving their queries accordingly. But we need to know more about examples of IoT with AI. So the first one is uh, we can talk about the AT City Brain and also Tesla autopilot and also the classroom monitoring systems. So I want to talk about this because we are in COVID-19, so we need to know more about the classrooms and to monitor how to monitoring the our students. So as we know, we are in a bad situation during this pandemic period of time. While it might raise a certain argument, those systems have been already implemented in some high schools in China, as we know. The classroom cameras scan the room once per 30 seconds, and the algorithm is able to determine students' emotions like happy, sad, bored, etc., as well as the behavior of students reading, writing, raising hand, and etc. According to the school's vice principal, the system is managed locally and is focused on the behavior of the whole class rather than a single individual. Here, the data is gathered by the cameras and the image recognition step is performed at the local servers. These examples show how complex problem can be solved by using artificial intelligence with the data which is streamed from IoT devices. Very important. So as the demand of these solutions increases, the tools to build those systems are becoming more available and convenient to use. The second or the fourth example of using artificial intelligence with IoT is a healthcare. Very important. In the healthcare sector, AI together with the IoT network can improving patient care. So, sensors from the medical devices such as healthcare mobile apps, fitness trackers, and digital medical records have been producing and storing patients' data. Also, artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things approach can help predict diseases, suggest preventive maintenance, tracking physical activities, heart rate, body mass, temperature, and providing drug administration by reviewing the medical history and identifying the health problem. When it is regarding health protection or diseases control, patients and the doctors would accept the benefits that come with the AI and IoT approach. How IoT can help fight COVID-19 pattern. COVID-19 is having an impact on our society now and our economy as we know. There are also storing indications that many technologies will see accelerated adoption in coming years because people become digitally minded as they embrace technology while working from the home. That's why Internet of Things is particular, and along with other technologies like cloud and artificial intelligence is of great use during the crisis. According to the study by researchers at MIT, overlying the geographic information system GIS on IoT mobile data can specialists in their research for patient zero and can help identifying all people who have come into contact with the infected patients. The technology can also be helpful in monitoring the patients who are high risk and hence can be source of information to his staff to make adequate actions. So let's have a look at some of examples of where IoT is being used to monitor this pandemic. The first one is connected thermometers, as you can see in this figure. So connected thermometers are being used by hospitals to screen patients and staff. Shanghai Public Health Clinic Center, along with, seven other hospitals throughout China, are currently using continuous temperature sensors to monitor COVID-19 patients to reduce the risk of hospital staff. Very important nowadays. Uh, the second example for using to avoid this pandemic period, COVID-19, is smart wearable. Researchers at Italian institutions have designed sensorized suits that can monitor human body parameters. The smart pen alert user when their body temperature is higher than 37.5 degrees. Also, the third one, IoT pattern. Vision State designed its first Internet of Things pattern, which is being used by hospitals. The pattern, as you can see this figure, are called one the quick touch that addresses the need for rapid development in the facilities of any size. The IoT pattern sends instant alerts to management advising of any cleaning or maintenance issues that may pose risk to public safety. Uh, but we have some challenges will faced by AI in IoT. Let me give some of them, like compatibility, which means that IoT is compilation of many parts and systems that are fundamentally different in time and space. The second challenge we need to work upon this challenge also is complexity, which means that the IoT is complicated system with many moving parts and the continuous flow of data, which makes very complicated ecosystem. The third one is ethical and the legal issues. It is a new word for many companies in which there is no precedent that has not been tested with new laws and the cases that emerge quickly. Uh, there is also some, this is like little bit challenge, but we have a lot we need to work upon these challenges. Let me give some conclusions. So while the IoT is extremely impressive, in reality, it does not serve much without a good artificial intelligence system to make advantage of it. Therefore, both technologies need to achieve the same level of development of function as perfectly as we think they should. Now, scientists are trying to find a way to get smarter data analysis software and devices for safe and effective Internet of Things to come true. But it should be sometime before this happens because the development of AI goes behind that of the IoT, although nevertheless, the possibility is still there. In addition, the integration of artificial intelligence into the functions of Internet of Things is fast becoming condition for digital ecosystem success based on today's IoT. Therefore, companies have to move quickly to identify how they will gain the value of combining the AI and the IoT or face up its updating in coming years. The only way to keep pace with this data generated by the IoT and obtain the hidden knowledge it contains is to use artificial intelligence as ultimately catalyst for the IoT. Uh, this is the aim of our group. So our aim of our group is of our group, scientific innovation research group, search find solution to lead to make machine machines connected and communicated with the entire work or entire network, such as IoT also generates a big data, but AI is only technology that makes those big data useful and meaningful for the industry. Therefore, the beneficial coexistence occurs between the IoT and the AI technologies, since we have tons of domains and the business niches we are working upon, which can grab the advantage of the coexistence of both technologies. And I also want to invite all of you to work with us in this under the umbrella of our group or under the umbrella of my university. It's welcome for everyone. Need to work upon this work very good group. We have many researchers from all around the world, from Egypt, Romania, from around the world, from Switzerland. We have a lot of researchers working upon this umbrella. So I invite all of you to work under this umbrella, scientific innovation research group. Finally, I want to thank all organizing this conference and my friend William to invite me, Professor William to invite me. So and thanks for all participants, and I hope this session be benefit for you to take some research point you can work upon, because you still have a time to work upon the IoT, because we don't have architecture till now, and the vision of IoT with AI is still ambiguous. So we can work research papers, patent, and others. So I want to thank all of you. Thank you so much. The presentation is for you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful presentation. At least we come to know that integration of artificial intelligence with Internet of Things is pretty important because everyone wants to operate the things remotely. And in this pandemic days, it is completely important. And I believe that this online conferencing are giving us the opportunity to connect with people across, and I'm fortunate enough to be a part of this because in this Zoom we have n number of people who are connected across the various regions. We have members from like Indonesia, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Morocco, Philippines, Egypt, and Algeria, and of course the India, who is a part of this conference and right now watching your sessions. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so
Now,
much.
let's welcome to our third keynote speaker, Dr. D Jude sir. Let me give brief about him. Dr. D Jude has received his BE degree in ECE from Bharatiya University in 2002, MA degree in Communication System from Anna University in 2006, and PhD from Karunya University in 2013. His research area include computational intelligence and image processing. He has authored more than 120 research papers in reputed SCIE Index international journals and Scopus Index international conferences. His cumulative impact factor is more than 160. He has published 33 edited books with reputed publishers such as Elsewhere, Springer, and IET. He has been serving as an associate editor, scientific editor of SCIE Index international journals such as Journal of Intelligent and Fuzzy System, Mathematical Problems in Engineering and China, Spain. He serves as an editorial board member and guest editor of many journals, leading publishers such as Elsewhere, Soft Computing Letters, Springer, Multidimensional Systems and Signal Processing, SN Computer Science, Sensing and Imaging, and Inder Science, IJAIP, IJICT, IJCVR, and IGPET. He is the series editor of Biomedical Engineering book series in Elsewhere and Robotics and Healthcare book series with CRC Press. He also serves as consulting editor with Elsewhere publisher. Currently, he is working as an associate professor in Department of ECE, Karuna University, Coimbatore, India. And I really thanks to Jude sir that in his busy
Thank you.
schedule he found a time for a conference and he's with us. So I would like to request Dr. D. Jude sir to please take it ahead now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor. And indeed, I am happy to be available here today morning and share my expertise with all of you people. I see participants from many places, and I also happy to see my friend, Professor Ahmed Ellangar. It is very nice to meet him also.
Thank you so
and
much.
interestingly, thanks, Ahmed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Interestingly, the participants, this is a multidisciplinary conference, and the participants are from a wide variety of background. So I have chosen a specific topic which will be useful to all of you people. Let me stop my video, and when we go into the discussion session, I will again switch on my video so I can cut down on my bandwidth a bit. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yes. So, good morning, participants in India, from India, and all the other people from different parts of the globe. Thank you very much for joining in this conference, because the success of a conference is not based on the organizers or the keynote speakers, but it is mostly based on the participants. You people are going to make this conference a success one. Right? So it is worth to give you some information to proceed further in your research career. So that is the main objective of people joining in the conferences. So whenever we see our academicians or a researcher, the first thing they come across is the publications point of view. And even in our conference, you must be seeing you are presenting papers and so other stuffs are there. Right? If you go a little beyond your conference, then we have the concept of journal. So today I am going to give you some tips on how you can get your paper published in the top quality Sci journal. So the topic I have chosen is what is the expectations of an editor from a Sci journal point of view, right? So since I am donning the roles of associate editorship or editorship in many Sci journals, at the same time, I am also an author, right? I'm also a researcher. So I know the situations from both ends. So I thought I will be sharing some of the tips, expectations of an editor when you submit the paper to that specific journals, right? These are some of my journals. If you are interested in this specific area, you are always welcome to submit papers. So my specific area is artificial intelligence and image processing and biomedical related stuff, right? But if I'm talking about that, that will take more time. 30 minutes may not be sufficient. And at the same time, I understand people are from different engineering background and management and arts background. So I thought this will be useful for all of you people. So the first question, if you ask a researcher, they may feel very sad and they say that every time when I submit my paper to a journal, it is always coming back, right? It is always rejected. So because we are not analyzing what are the reasons for the rejection of the paper, we still proceed with the same methodology and we are getting the same results of rejection. So today we will see what are the points you should avoid. Normally people say or advise you what are the points you should have in your work. But I am going to say you some of the points which you should avoid when you go for writing your research paper, right? All these contents are my own experiences from the previous 10 to 15 years. So I have collected everything together and I'm giving you in a nutshell. The first one is scope. Set for the scope clearly in the published paper, right? So nothing new in that. Whenever a researcher go and submit a paper, definitely he or she will check for the scope. But what you have to do is, it is not only the scope which is written in the website, you have to peep into the already published papers, right? Because when the journal is an image processing journal, but they may be looking for only medical imaging related right? So in that case, it is always good to check the papers which are already published. Then if you find some similarities within your scope and the published papers, then proceed for submission, because most of the scope are broad image processing, artificial intelligence, IoT, everything a broad idea, but internally there may be some limitations. The second point you have to keep in mind is, if you are a beginner, definitely you will be writing a review paper or a survey paper. But many journals do not accept survey papers or review papers, right? If they are accepting survey or review paper in their page, right, in the about the journal icon of their website, they would have clearly indicated review papers are also welcome. You please choose only those journals which accepts review papers. If you randomly submit to many venues, the chances of rejection is going to be huge. The next one is lack of novelty and originality. Say, for example, you have checked the scope and submitted the paper. The first thing the paper, the first place the paper travels is it will reach the editor-in-chief via an editorial assistant. So he will check for the novelty or originality. Right? What do you mean by novelty or originality? This is the place where most of the researchers getting confused. Something different is expected in each paper, right? It is not going to be whether positive or negative. Even negative results can be reported as a research. So something different to what already existing is what expected in the paper, right? So in your area of engineering or arts or management, you will know what is that different stuff. If I'm working with deep learning, I will know what is the thing which I need to incorporate. And remember, something different should be different for an editor-in-chief who is an expert. 99% of the times, if you go for a journal editor-in-chief, he will be an expert having lots and lots of publications under his belt. So your difference, if you say difference, it should be different for an expert. So many people say, yes, sir, I'm giving some different stuffs, but still it gets rejected, right? So you need to have a thorough literature survey and then come to a point on finding what is the different stuff which you can incorporate in comparison to other researchers. If you are using already existing methods, this point is very, if you are using all existing methods, is going to be very right. Your contribution is what the side journals are looking for. You cannot just take some methods which are already developed by some research scientist and use for your application. Corpus journals, it may be, but for side journals or high quality journals, it is not possible. To have something different, or in other words, some contribution from your side. Why do we say this contribution and all these stuffs? Because for an editor-in-chief, it's responsibility of that journal. For him, the popularity of the journal is very important. That leadership. How many people are going to study journals and read the articles from journals is very important. So it's a cycle: author, journal, and readers. In author, this is a complete cycle, right? So if the cycle is cut out, then this popularity of the journal will come down, and the publisher, who is in charge of that journal, will start questioning editor-in-chief. That's to maintain something different so that all the readers will come and read the which are published in this journal. You can sharing some screen.
Yes, sir, we can see your screen. The PPT is not open. I think some network issues were there, so your voice.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Yeah. So the third one is your English language usage. How do you use your English language? So from different parts of the world, in some part the people are good in English. In some part of the world, people are not good in English. So if you are not good, it's not a worry. It's not a sign of a worry. But still, what you can do is you can get the support of a native English speaker who can give some inputs on your English language. What are the steps you need to learn? Grammatical mistakes. Never ever make grammatical mistakes in any part of your paper, right? If the editor finds at least one grammar mistake somewhere, then he will have an impression that this author is not very good in English. So the impression on your paper will be lost from the editor's point of view. Complex sentences, write sentences which are understandable by everyone, and it is as small as possible. Don't write 2 to 3 lines in an MS Word file continuously. That seems to be much complex and it will be very difficult to read, even though if there is no mistake in that sentence, but still if it is complex, it is not pleasing to the eyes of a reader. And weak organization, right? So when you say organization is the way in which you have put all the contents of your paper in terms of subsections. Right? Your section headings plays or speaks a volume. The specific concepts you have in your paper must be illustrated in terms of your side headings, subsections. If you say that medical image analysis as one of the section, I will not be impressed because medical image analysis is a broader scenario. So it is always better to pinpoint your specific work as subsections or subheadings. Sentences which are logically wrong. If you are not confident enough, you don't write any sentences which may spoil the reputation of your paper. Say, for example, you would have verified only some hundreds of papers of deep learning. Then you do not write that deep learning is very rarely used for this application, because the reviewer or the editor must have read some other paper with deep learning on that specific application. Then they may feel that whatever you have written is wrong. If that is the case, these are some of the points which will affect the impression of your paper on that editor's mind. Next comes the match between the objectives and the conclusions. So this screening time is very, very small, maybe hardly two minutes, right? If you take my role, As an editor, whenever I look into my journal login, whenever I enter into my login, I will receive 30 to 40 papers to be taken care of in a week. Right? How do I do that? I'm also an academician. I also have jobs in my university. So this is a voluntary position we do, but we look for these impressive points within that 2 minutes. Right? If you are not impressing us, the chances of desk rejection is very, very high. The match between the objectives and the conclusions. Right? The next point I will come to is, what is the problem statement? Nowadays, most of the researchers are being carried out without specifying any problem statement or any motivation. When I read your abstract, I have a separate session, right? I have a separate lengthy content on how to write a research paper. That is something different. If you want, you can contact me later. But for the time being, your abstract should have your problem statement. If it is not very clear, right? If you have not pinpointed the drawbacks of the already existing works, that is your problem statement. Right? If it is not mentioned, then it is immediate rejection for you. You cannot do a research, aimless research, or something just for the purpose of doing some research. You cannot do that. It must be clearly revealed in the abstract why other researchers were not able to solve this problem. That line should be there in the abstract. So once you say, for example, you have given that, fine. Now, once I see your objective, now I just come to your last section of experimental research. I try to find out whether you have solved that problem or not, right? There should be a match between the problem statement you have specified or the hypothesis you have specified and your final results. Some people, most people, their problem statement will be different and their results will be something different, which is not acceptable in the sights of an editor. Next one is irrelevant contents or known contents. Explaining the already known contents, because the journal says you should submit a paper with 20 pages in length or something like that. Do not include any contents which are already known. That is again a common mistake most of us do. Right? We are interested as an editor, we are interested only in your contribution. Right? Don't explain all the contents which are already existing. How can you do that? You just write a single line and put it in a reference box. That will be more than enough for the reader. If he is interested, he can go and check that. If he already know that, then it is fine. Right? But if you are elaborating in a detailed way all the contents which are already known or which are common for everyone, it is not going to make an impression on the editor. Right? Subject matter which are close to your contribution alone, right? Alone must be discussed in the paper. So medical image, if I'm doing something with the deep learning on a, say for example, a medical image, a COVID lung image, I should not write all thing about a medical image analysis, right? Even though it is related, it is too far. Maybe I can write a dedicated single paragraph, that is fine. But to make the paper length increased, I should not do that. The next one is the mistakes in the methodology. Right. So after looking at these concepts, if I am satisfied with your results and the contents and everything, then I just quickly glance through your methodology part. Do not make any mistakes in your methodology part. Right. For this, you need to have a deeper understanding on the technique which you are using. You may be from different background. As I was observing the chat box, many people are doing in aerospace, in biofuels, electrical. So different backgrounds are there. You understand your method in a correct way and then go and draw your diagram. All the papers should have a diagram. A diagram speaks more than a paragraph. For example, deep learning methods do not need manual feature extraction. This is simple logic. But people, they do not understand properly the concept of deep learning. And when they draw the block diagram or when they do a chart for their complete approach, they include the process of feature extraction, which is completely logically wrong. Then immediately I will have an impression that he has not understood the concept fine. Maybe all the other points you would have ticked the checkbox. But when you come to the methodology part, if you fail, then again, it is not going to be good in the sight of the editor. Right? Again, database must be sufficiently large. Whatever experiments you are doing, you are definitely going to use some database. It should be sufficiently large for validating your results. You cannot say, I have got 100% in comparison with the other people, right? but you have tested with only 2 inputs. Right? It's like a running race. Normally in India, we have a proverb. In a running race, the child will come and say, I came second. How many people ran the race? Only 2. Right? That is not going to be acceptable in the sights of an editor or a reviewer. This point is very, very important. Lack of discussions or inferences of the results. First one is incomplete results, right? You are using 4 or 5 methods in your paper, very good. But for 3 methods, you are giving some results. For another 2 methods, you are going to give some other results, which are going to affect the uniformity of the method. How will I compare and judge that this method is going to be better than the other? It is not going to be possible. It is going to be very, very, very difficult. So never ever go for incomplete results, or I would say non-uniformity in the results. Next point is stage-wise results to guarantee your implementation. In your result section should be very detailed. Don't just give the input and straight away go and give your output. I am not looking for that. Nowadays, many softwares are available which are doing the same thing. What I am expecting is I'm going to analyze your individual results at different stages. As I told you in my previous slide, you should have a block diagram or a flow diagram. So each block or flow should be represented in terms of results in your results section. Lack of quantum of results. If this point number 2 is satisfied, then definitely you will have quantum of results. Because you do not do the point number 2, the stage-wise results, your result section looks very weak. Right? That is not always acceptable. Interpretation of your results, right? This is another important point with the reason for rejection of your manuscript. Don't just give the table or the bar chart or the pie chart. Write something about what is, or do some analysis on what is happening in that results. Why this method is giving a better result. There should be some characteristic feature for A giving a better result than B, right? That should be always analyzed or discussed in your paper. Why this is going down? Why this error is coming up? Right? All those analysis should be given. It should be useful for the readers. Remember, the readers are going to get impressed with your paper. So when the future researchers are going to read your results, they should be in a position to carry on with your research where your citations and everything will be increased. Lack of results for validating your hypothesis. As I told you, your objective and the results should always match. Nowadays, we have many softwares where you can get some graphs and plots, which are not sufficient enough. You need to have these all methods. When you come to the category of survey papers, critical review, right? You should be a critic. You cannot encourage another person, because if that is the case, then why should you do that survey? Why should you do that survey? So you should be a critic in analyzing, finding the drawbacks or the demerits of the previous papers. And survey papers, no specific contribution. So your organization should be very strong, right? All key points on which the survey is not already available should be there. Lack of flow, right? These points I can talk for maybe hours. Lack of flow is another reason. Each line should have a continuity, and the way in you present, you have some tables, you have some different charts, all those things you can give. Many survey papers are already, don't do it available, right? So you do a thorough literature survey and find out if anything is available in that or not. If not, you can proceed. So these are some of the points which will always, the editor will scan or screen within 2 minutes time, probably, right? So you need to impress them within that 2 minutes. If all these boxes are ticked, then he will pass your paper to the reviewer. But again, the editor-in-chief is going to have the upper role in complete review process. So I'll just, in another 5 minutes, I will brief you about what are the things you should have to further grow in your research career. Normally, people talk about, whenever you are an academician, people talk about research publications, funded projects, consultancy, and patents. Right? But there are n number of dimensions which a researcher must know. Right? It is like preparing biryani. I know many people from different parts of the world definitely will be having these contents, but you will know when you are preparing a dish, some major ingredients are there and some additional ingredients which will add flavor contents, right? So book publications, it's very, very important. Becoming an editor for series is an appreciable stuff. For that, you must have ticked all the previous 4 concepts. Becoming an editorial member of side journals is an appreciable thing. You can, if you become all these things, you will have contact with the international researchers, and you can become a scientist or a member of their labs. So when you become a scientist or a member of the labs, it is not that you have just a name there, right? You need to work. A researcher should work every day. So when all the labs in which I am associated with, every weekend we will have a meeting via Zoom or Google Meet. Not now, even long back. My director will be from Argentina, another colleague will be from Venezuela, and another person will be from Japan. We discuss and we divide the task among us, and within the next week, we should be in a position to complete that. This is the way how a researcher should grow. International collaborations, more number of papers. How do you get more number of papers? When you have a good collaborative network. That is the main purpose of attending conferences like that, like this. So number of keynote talks delivered, that is another added advantage. So all these things must be practiced with ethics and skill. Ethics is with your heart, right? And skill is in your mind. If you mix these 2 things, definitely you can become a successful researcher, right? I will just zero down on only in the research publications point of view. So writing research paper, I told you that one of the major ingredients is publication. It's an art. Try to master it. It's not just like writing an essay or a exam answer, right, in an answer sheet. It's not like that. It is a process in which you should be a master. We discussed a lot about why they get rejected, both quantity and quality. Nowadays, people talk about H-index. So H-index should be 100, at least 100, to rub shoulders with the top class scientists across the world. So quantity and quality are important. For quantity, you must take the support of collaborative researchers. Otherwise, it is very, very difficult. How can you do more works and do write research papers within 1 year? It is not going to be possible, right? So you share your work. It's all about sharing, right? So 25% I will do, you do 25%, that is fine. Your technical expertise talks about your quality. So you should be a strong expert in your specific area, right? Whatever may be the question you should to answer. That is point number B. If that, you can have many collaborators. You can attract collaborators from where you can satisfy point number A also. Right? Have always side journals as your first option and Scopus journals as the last option. Never ever go for journals which are not belong to this specific category. These are some of the quality publishers most of you might be knowing. Keep an eye on your H-index and I-10 index. H-index is very, very important. To understand the editorial process of each journal, before submitting a paper in a journal, understand the editorial process. Right? Maybe sometimes you cannot wait for 2 months. In that case, if you submit a paper to a journal which takes 6 months, it is not good for you. So the frequency of publication, it will be given in the website, at least an average period they have given, the scope, the papers published in very important. Don't just stop with the scope. Check the papers, recently published papers, and you can ask your friends. That's why a strong research network is very, very important. So you will get some idea about that. Avoid plagiarism, including self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism is also not good. Plagiarism is murder. Self-plagiarism is suicide. It both leads to death. Not good for a research point of view. Follow ethics, right? These ethical practices are very, very important. Nowadays, with the demand and with the pressure from the academic institutions, there are many chances that people may go away from the ethical issues. But follow ethics in doing your research. It is going to stay long, right? And publishing your research. Open access journals, if you can afford, you can go for that. But we have many high quality journals which are charging some fee also, right? Nature and some other journals, they do charges. Communications, I think it's $5,000 USD, something like that. It is, if you can afford, if your industry can sponsor, you can go for that also. So this is another category within the side journals. Nowadays, people talk about quartile journals, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4, right? So if you fall under this category, again, it is going to be better. But you need to work hard more for Q1 journal, whose impact factor is going to be very, very high. Do not include your own references. Just to increase the chances of your citations or increase your H index, do not include your own references. That is an absolutely not a correct practice, right? If necessary, you can include one or two, but more number of references in your paper will not give a good impression in the sight of editor or a reviewer, right? Self-citations, it is another major issue. So I can speak a lot on that. Due to lack of time, just cutting down. Attend more conferences to increase the chance of collaborators, right? Journals, I was talking about all the journals, all the specific issues of the journals, but conferences also have some benefits. Only most important is increasing the chances of collaborators, our friends, our networks, right? So how to judge the quality of a publications or researcher? How many publications in side journals, number of citations, H index, cumulative impact factor. This is another important aspect in our journal scenario. Then publications in almost similar stream. Don't jump from one stream to another stream. You may be doing in biofuel, then you get an opportunity in doing image processing. Do not jump there. Right? Your CV speaks a lot. Target different journals to get a different idea on what is happening in the journal scenario. Ethical issues, never go for self-citations, have an idea on Vancouver Authorship Protocol, right? VAP. That means if you are naming someone as an author, there are some conditions with which he should satisfy, right? That is clearly defined in VAP. You can go to Google and check and do your research without any known errors. Very, very important. Avoid plagiarism. So how to avoid plagiarism? You cannot write a paper in a single day. Write your article day by day, right? Within 2 months, one day you write only abstract, another day you write only introduction, right? Another day you just draw a diagram. Then again, finally, you can fit everything to find a very good research paper, right? So write your article day by day. So these are some of the information which I want to give you, right? You are always welcome to go to this website. This is my web page where you can find all my details, all my research, current research works, all my email IDs, my contact numbers, everything is there. At any point of time, if you need any support or help from me, you are always welcome. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Maybe in next 5 minutes, we can have a quick discussion session. If any one of you have any queries, you can just ask me maybe 2 or 3 questions we can take.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this is Sandhya from SV University, Andhra Pradesh.
Yes,
sir,
yes, madam.
Sir, I have a doubt that can we publish our patented data?
No. Patent is something which deals with commercialization, right? So if you want to, if you have an idea of patenting your work, then you should not publish. That means the details of that your patenting work should not be released in prior.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes, madam.
Sir, good afternoon. Sorry, good morning, sir. I have one doubt, sir. Actually, I fine-tuned one algorithm, standard backpropagation algorithm, by added a new term. Now I experimented that algorithm with a data set around 5 to 7 data set, which is obtained from UCA machine learning repository, sir. From whether it is good to use the data set from UCA or else I want to experiment with the real-time data set.
Yeah, when you go for a research publication point of view, people will expect a comparative analysis at the end of your results section, right? So if it's a comparative analysis, then somebody else should have used that database. If people have not used the database, then they cannot give a comparative analysis. So if you go for research publications, papers, journals, or conferences, I always advise you to go for online database or the benchmark data sets which are available for everyone's usage. If you go and collect some real-time data, maybe if you are from some place, it is very limited to that place only. How another user from UK or USA will use that?
Okay.
That may be a problem. So I will advise you to go for only benchmark data sets. Suppose
Okay, sir.
if you are going for a project, funded project, then you can make use of real-time.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sorry to interrupt you. Actually, we are running out of time. So, sir has already shared his website. You can visit website and contact to this sir.
I will just write my, I will just give my email ID in my chat box. If you are interested, you can contact me later, because I do not want to disturb the conference flow also.
And meanwhile, I would also like to thank Dr. Jude Hemant sir for giving his valuable time. In the morning, I was continuously sending him message that, sir, please do come. And he found a time for us and he came. And it was a very nice expert talk, sir. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I believe that we should also go for one workshop, because this is a long topic and everyone needs that. I can see the chat flow.
Yes.
That this is a fantastic discussion, and thank you so much for that, sir.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
Inform to all the participants that we are going to start the presentation schedule in next 5 minutes. That is the other Zoom link. I hope everyone has received that, and we will be going as per the schedule. I would like to request everyone to just switch on their videos so that we can have a quick click. I know that everyone is sitting at their home, and someone will be comfortable and someone will be not. But just like in a 5 seconds, and we would be clicking on. I request all to please turn on their videos so that we can have a click. Yeah, I can see the faces right now. Rest also, I request to please turn on their videos. If you can show the victory sign, that will be hugely appreciable, so that we can have a good click. That's great. Done. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. So, done with the keynote speech right now. We'll be moving toward the presentation schedule. I hope everyone has a fine time with this keynote speech. Now, I request all to log out the session, and presenters who have a schedule, they can join the further Zoom meeting. We are going to start quickly in next 5 minutes. Thank you so much, everyone.